Hey, hi, witanki. Name is Hoša and I'm here to react to anime and things. This is The Things. Ahsoka episode 6. The previous episode was almost completely dedicated to Anakin teaching Ahsoka to trust in the Force, pretty much. So, Ahsoka's Padawanship to Electric Boogaloo. All of it taking place in the world between worlds, which I found interesting. But, aside from that and her coming out of the experience, the White Wizard now... I'll never get over that. She parked her ship inside a Purgle's mouth. So she and Hu Yang pretty much traveled to this different galaxy where Thrawn and ostensibly Ezra are supposed to be. Also, I apologize for calling Skull Scroll for like 3 episodes straight. Simply because I recorded it wrong. Like I noted it down wrong and have been reading from this erroneous note ever since. In addition to all of that, Hera is being suspended by the Senate of the New Republic because of her actions and because she has taken an unauthorized leave, pretty much, to go aid Ahsoka and took a squadron with her of X-Wings, that is. I don't know how that's gonna end for her. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more reactions to both Ahsoka and anime and other miscellaneous stuff. That's definitely coming, do not worry. Comment anything that's not a spoiler down below. And for full reactions and only access to them, go to patreon.com/hoshareacts. Find some fun stuff. On to the episode. Pretty colors. Oh, this looks trippy. Do not recommend you watch this part of this episode if you have epilepsy. And why not? Huh. So this is what they're talking about. Is it? Is it though? Is it really? Precisely. Yeah, that would be for the best. Ahsoka's a bit too in her own head at the moment, I think, and Sabine's choice was completely understandable. Very human. Yeah, well, you know what? That's kind of fitting. Although we do not actually know how far away from their original galaxy this one is. Couldn't be too far, considering they are not going to, like, age 40 years by traveling to it. I bet. He only promised not to hurt her, and like I've said before, it was only he that promised that, and only not to hurt her in particular. So their deal was... it has too many holes in it, is what I'm trying to say. He only promised to keep her safe, and he was the only one who made that promise. Too many loopholes. Peridia. Huh. Interesting. Is that all it is, though? I don't believe it is. Not for a second, considering Thrawn is here, and he's one crafty bastard. As we all very well know, he would have made something out of this space, regardless of the resources available, I'd say. Who could it be? Who could be sending the beacon? Is it Thrawn, or is it someone else? Is it Ezra? Are they aiming for Ezra's beacon? Although, I suppose that would be quite foolish of him to make his whereabouts known so widely. We shall see. I'm still not totally convinced that Ezra is alive, though. I'm almost 100% sure that Thrawn is, because he's Thrawn. Whoa, that's freaky. The Valley of the End vibes. Or like, what were those statues from the Lord of the Rings film on both sides of a river? Yeah. Are those Night Sisters? Are those giant statues Night Sisters? Or like Night Mothers, I suppose. Huh. So they were sending the beacon, right? It was their signal. Cool, 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 cool. Witches, right? They look like witches. Great mother. Huh. Yeah, more witches. What did you expect? By following a witch to a witch world. Oh, he is. So he is alive. No, not that that's a surprise. Yeah, she might. Quite rude, though, of them, hive mind, calling her it. Well, screw you too. Yeah, but not to deal with anyone but Skull. And he has no authority here, mind. So he wasn't in a position to make a deal with you in the first place. But like, who cares? Now that doesn't really matter at all. He does not look happy. I'm not exactly sure why. What did you expect? You knew who you were following here. Yeah, and sometimes the reality is much worse than said stories. Which I bet is the case here. Yeah, it's all very cyclical, isn't it? What is we? In her understanding, in her mind, what does she mean by we? Traya vibes? What Traya? I'm not exactly sure which of those is her actual Sith name. I'm sure there are other explanations for what he just said, but like, it is something that Traya would say, is what I'm getting at, which is deliciously intriguing. But from what he just said, I'm gathering that he does in fact teach Shin both the light and the dark side. That would be my guess. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. You never know with Star Wars. Again, Korea is a primary example. So, did Sabine do something, or was it just a coincidence? Huh? Well, hello there, Thrawn or although the Star Destroyer is pretty beaten up. Like it's... How did it survive the contact with the atmosphere? It should have been obliterated. Anyway, me into my technical details. Who cares? Thrawn! We're gonna see Thrawn. I'm so excited. If you couldn't tell. Whoa, that's cool. I wonder who that mask belonged to before becoming like part of the stormtrooper armor. And why are they all so dirty? I get salvaging parts and wearing mismatched armor and weapons as well. But like, why are they dirty? What sense does that make? None that I can see. Why, hello there. He's so giddy. I love it. Huh. I like the emphasis. Well, yeah, that's fair. What are you planning? What use would she be? Oh my god, he's going to use her as bait, isn't he? He's going to lure Ezra out. I bet she doesn't know where Ezra is. And now she is looking for him actively. and has a much better chance of finding him than Thrawn does. Such a bastard. Yeah, really. I don't believe him for a second. Yeah, she's bait. Hell no. No, that was a freaking lie. A bold-faced one at that. She's bait. Oh, they're being literal with it. Literally a ride. I thought like a speed bike or something, but no, it's an animal. Hospitality. There's nothing quite like it, is there? Now, I find it quite fortunate that she left her helmet back on Cetos, or Satos, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And this planet just happens to have an atmosphere suitable for breathing. Yeah, she is bait. Predictable. Yeah, that's just the thing. Their agreement had too many holes in it. Dead, both of them, immediately. I figured. This is why you do not bargain with someone who has no power, and you also do not make deals that have so many holes in them that they're more hole than deal. Now, how is she going to look for Ezra? What's she planning to do? The nomads? The bandits? Or whoever the captain mentioned. Well, about the helmet thing, I've just had a thought. They probably didn't want to make this episode into another one of, like, another episode of Mandalorian. Oh, she's getting serious. It's lightsaber time. I mean that she would have to be in the helmet all the time with no face acting, no scene emotion, only body language. Oh, well, that sucks. What are we going to do next? Like, returning to my previous point, I think I know now why the helmet was left behind, because it would be quite sensible of her to like wear the helmet regardless of where she actually ends up and whether or not the atmosphere is breathable or not. But now she has no option of putting the helmet on. She has no helmet. Sensible. Makes sense. If they are to survive here, while Thrawn and his army, or if it can be called an army, I don't know what she means by dwindled numbers. Like, how much have they dwindled? But putting that aside, if Ezra and Sabine were to be left here, I don't believe that Thrawn knows that Purgils can be used as a way back from this galaxy, considering that they come here to die. They do not make the trip back, if that makes sense. So even if he is aware of the possibility of using Purgils as like a layover of sorts, I think he plans for them being either stranded here without any possibility of leaving, or them being dead together with Skull and Shin. But that leads me to the thought of Baylan and Shin maybe teaming up with Sabine, Ezra and Ahsoka, which... don't tell me that's gonna happen. I don't like it. I mean, they will supposedly have a shared objective of escaping this galaxy and going to the native one, so to speak, but, like, maybe no? I don't like that plot point, if that makes sense. No. Where are they? Don't be a dick to the Howler. You've only just met. It does not owe you anything. Oh. Well, turtle people, apparently. Good to know. Now, why are they here, though? What is it? Naughty. Huh? How do they know this symbol? Huh. So that's why they're here. Did the Howler track them down because they have the medallion with Ezra's scent on it or something? A concilium? Huh. Now, I guess they're going to lead her to Ezra, but unfortunately for her, she has a tail. How does he know so much? That's something I've been wondering for a while now. How does he know so much about these people? How did he gain the information? Yeah, it was pretty rotten at the end there, to be honest. The idea has always had merit, but, you know. Yeah, but there are only two of you. What are you gonna do? And you don't. You wanna harness it, don't you? And that all but confirms the fact that Balin teaches Shin both the light and the dark side. His speech there, or at least I think that's what it means. Some curious architecture. Almost has a steampunk vibe about it. Interesting. Eating an unknown substance from an unknown planet. Use this food by a species so radically different from you. Yeah, not the greatest idea out there, I admit. Is that Ezra? Yeah, I guess it would be. Does he wear chainmail? Yay, a reunion. I've only just noticed. She also wears the sleeves. The same sleeves I do. Yeah, about that. Yeah. Have fun explaining to him that the only way off this world for you is joining Thrawn. Well, as far as Sabine knows, anyway. So they're nomads. Yeah. Right. Sabine has some explaining to do. Elspeth does not look good. After receiving the news. Well, thus he's untrustworthy. Oh, you will find that extremely interesting. He looks so stoked about that. Alright, so that was episode 6. Thrawn looked like he couldn't wait for the Night Mothers to use their dark magic. Good old scheming Thrawn. Yeah, I look forward to the supremely awkward conversation between Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra. Well, the first supremely awkward conversation is going to be between Ezra and Sabine, first of all, because I don't think he would be pleased with the news that the only way off planet for them both would be the Star Destroyer. Thrawn's Star Destroyer to be specific. Yeah, because they're both unaware of Ahsoka coming, but considering that Thrawn is now also notified of Ahsoka's arrival, I'm not 100% sure whether or not she, meaning Ahsoka, will have the means of escaping this galaxy as well. If Thrawn destroys, or not Thrawn, I suppose, the Great Mothers, if they destroy Ahsoka's ride, what would happen then? Considering, again, the only way off this world, or out of this galaxy at all, would be the giant hyperspace ring that Elizabeth built. They're not teaming up. I don't see that happening at all, so I'm left with questions. This was an exceptionally fun episode. I don't know if I like this one more than I did number 4. It's close. It's very close. It's always a delight seeing Thrawn or Ordo. I'm sure I butchered that. I do every time. I forget the way it's properly pronounced, like 5 minutes after looking it up. I did that multiple times, actually, but to no avail. And the team up between Skull, Shin and the Rebels, I don't want to see it, but it looks like I won't be granted my wish. Narratively, it makes too much sense, because they will share a goal at this point. Both Thrawn and Elizabeth have no need of Skull and Shin anymore, and will be quite happy getting rid of them. So, like, yeah, Purgles it is for all of them. After a bit more consideration, I don't think that Baylan has anything to do with the ideology of Kreia, which is a shame, let's be honest. But he does seem to be much more aware of the cyclical nature of dark and light, of the balance, if you will, in their galaxy than a typical Jedi would be, so that's interesting at least. So yeah, they have 3 rotations at this point. Let's see what they do with them, or what they do about the whale that is about to arrive, bringing Ahsoka within it. Can't wait for the next episode. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more reactions to both Ahsoka and anime and other miscellaneous stuff. Comment anything that's not a spoiler down below, and for full reactions and early access to them, visit patreon.com/hoshareacts. Go there, find some fun stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.